Hi geographers, and welcome to the latest episode of the CVA Geography YouTube channel with me, Mr. Randall. What I want you to do is please write the title and then pause the video and answer the do now for me. Thank you. Right, brilliant. Let's go through the answers. Number 1 is attrition. Number 2 is when it affects people. Number 3 is 600 million. Number 4 is 66%. Number 5 is 60%. Number 6 is cattle ranching, and number 7 is the Great Green Wall. And the stretcher, this also mitigates climate change because more CO2 is absorbed through photosynthesis, which makes the atmosphere thinner, therefore less long-wave solar radiation is trapped. So, today we're starting a new topic looking at global development. It's called Changing Economic World, and it's on paper 2, and it's section B. It's worth 25 marks. What we're going to look at today is just different ways we can classify development, so different indicators we can use to measure how developed a country is. What I want you to do is just to pause the video here and just jot down 3 keywords. Brilliant, done. Let's continue. So, how do we measure development? The term development means something's getting better, okay? In geography, we talk about the development of countries as they both improve economically, so people's wages, as well as socially. So this could be life expectancy, access to clean water, access to hospitals, access to education. And as the two improve, people's quality of life gets better. What you can see in figure 2 is like 4 levels, so to say, about water, transport, cooking, eating and sleeping. And as you go through the levels, things improve. So over time, quality of life in developed countries, high-income countries, is better than that of the quality of life in a low-income country. This is just Rostow's model. It's a little bit old, but it's just worth showing you that it's just this model which shows that over time all countries will go through the journey from going from LIC, so a low developed country, to an HIC, a developed country. It just takes time. All countries are on the same journey. So there are 3 categories of development: HIC, high income country like the UK, USA; NEE, newly emerging economies; and LIC, low income countries. What I want you to do is write out the statements from 1 to 6 and then decide if this is relevant in a high income country, a newly emerging country, or low income country. So I'll pause it there and let you crack on with that. Brilliant guys, well done. Let's go through the answers. So number 1 would be a low income country, number 2 would be high income country, number 3 would be NEE, number 4 would be low income country, number 5 NEE, and number 6 LIC. So give yourself a tick if you got them, and there's the answers anyway. So the global pattern of development. This map here shows life expectancy. So this can tell us that hospitals in these countries are really good, people can get the treatment and they live longer. This can also tell us that these countries with a higher life expectancy are going to be more economically developed, because where people are healthier and live longer, they're more economically active, which means that more taxes and more products are going to be generated for the government. But the general pattern we can see here is that countries in the northern hemisphere tend to have a higher life expectancy than the southern hemisphere, Australia sort of being an example, anomaly I should say. And likewise literacy rate, again we can see a similar sort of pattern to life expectancy. The literacy rate is higher in the northern hemisphere and parts of Europe, and lower in the southern hemisphere, and anomaly again would be Australia kind of being high in the southern hemisphere. Again, if your literacy rate is high, this tells you you're going to be an HIC because you've got an educated workforce, which means more people can work in tertiary, quaternary jobs, so there'll be more taxes generated for the government. Right, so all I want you to do now is just jot down what are the similarities between these two graphs, the life expectancy and literacy rate by country. What does a low life expectancy mean for a country, and what does a low literacy rate mean for a country? So pause it there and have a go. Brilliant guys, well done. What you should have got is the idea that in the northern hemisphere both indicators are higher. You might have said Africa has lower scores of life expectancy and literacy rate. Question 2, if there's a low life expectancy, it'd be an LIC as there's less people to work. And number 3, if there's a low literacy rate, this means quality of life would be low as people haven't got the skills to work, so we'll have low wages. Right, so when we talk about development, there's often this thing called the development gap, the gap between the wealthy and the poor, the low-income country and the high-income country. If we just look at these two pictures, figure 5, a slum in Lagos and Makoko, and figure 6, a suburb of Liverpool, if we just think access to food is going to be higher in figure 6 than in figure 5. Water, in figure 5, people won't have clean water. They'll get cholera, there'll be a spread of disease. Whereas in figure 6, these houses will have clean piped water. In figure 6, people have access to education, healthcare, meaning when they're sick they can get treated, meaning going to school and education gives them the skills to get higher paying formal jobs in the future, whereas figure 5 doesn't have these. So there's going to be a gap between the development of the people living in both areas. And as geographers, we measure development by using a variety of indicators. What we've got is GNI, and I've got an arrow there showing you it's the total value of money produced by a country in a year. What we've then got is when a country develops, the number gets higher. The higher the income, the wealthier the country. I've then got a list of other indicators, GNI per capita down to life expectancy. There's the definitions in the next column. These are mixed up. So what you need to do is write out the indicator, GNI per capita, and then find the definition and write that underneath it. So I would write GNI per capita, and then I would write the GNI of a country divided by the number of people who live there. And then next to that, I'd say if it's higher or lower, so I'd write higher. So I'll pause the video here, let you write out the indicators and try to match up the definitions to them. Thank you. Brilliant, guys, well done. That's an awful lot of work going through them different indicators. But just to go through the answers, they are all here for you, so please tick off and mark your answers. Right, let's try and put some of this into an exam question. In a moment you're going to do a question, but I'm just going to show you a model first. So, my question, use figure 5 to suggest 2 pieces of evidence that suggest the UK is a high income country. My success criteria says identify 2 correct reasons, provide evidence and explain how it shows the UK is a high income. So I'm going to use the figure. The UK has a higher literacy rate than other countries, with 99% of people being able to read and write knowledge. This makes the UK a HIC because almost everyone can afford to have access to good education. Perfect. In the UK, the percentage of people with access to safe water is extremely high. This means that water pipe systems in the country are developed and people can afford to have water pumped into homes. 4 marks. Perfect. Right, so what I want you to do is just to pause the video here and have a go at answering these 3 exam questions for me based on the same figure. Brilliant, well done guys, excellent work so far. Remember, keep that work safe and email it to your teacher when the lesson has all finished. So we continue. Just a quick true or false quiz, so please just write down the numbers 1 to 8 and then we're just going to go through are they true or false. So pause it here, write down the numbers and true or false. Brilliant guys, well done, let's go through the answers. So we've got true, true, false, 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 true, true, false. So we've seen there's a variety of development indicators, but what we need to know and be crystal clear on is what are the limitations to these? Why are they not the perfect picture of a country's development? So I really suggest you jot down these limitations with me, because it's going to help you in the exam question at the end, as well as for your GCSEs. So using just one development indicator to judge a country's development can cause problems, because the data could be out of date or hard to collect, and therefore it's unreliable. Having an average, such as a GNI per capita, can be skewed if a few people in the country are rich and the majority are poor. For example, Qatar. One indicator only focuses on one aspect of development, not everything. So by looking at literacy rate, yeah, it tells me about the schools, but it gives me no indication about the healthcare or the wages of people in the country. And corrupt governments might lie about their data, and therefore it's unreliable. So just pause it there and make sure you've got a couple of them written down for me. So these development indicators, they're not perfect. Is there a better solution? Let's find out. Right, so that just introduced you to HDI. Okay, HDI gives a holistic view of a country's development because it combines 3 development indicators to generate one number between 0 and 1. The higher you are to 1, the better the country. What I want to do now is just pause here for you and allow you the time to answer the 3 questions on the screen. Question 3, you need to use the map, which is just to the right of the questions. Brilliant, well done guys, let's mark the answers. So HDI is a social measure of quality of life and uses 3 indicators. 3 indicators are life expectancy, number of years in education and GNI. And there's a model answer for the describe the global distribution. So please feel free and tick off your answers like mine. Brilliant, well done. So we're almost at the end of our lesson today guys. And the last little thing I want you to do for me is, can you, number 1, outline one disadvantage of using a single measure of development, such as income, to tell us if a country is an LIC, NE or HIC. And then question 2, explain how using one of the development indicators in figure 4 shows the differences in quality of life between 3 countries. So we're going to do for question 2 really is pick one development indicator, so it might be life expectancy, and how does that show the differences between China's development, Sierra Leone's and Italy's? What might the hospitals be like in each of the countries? Right, pause it there and then have a go at this. Brilliant guys, really well done today. Here's some model answers for you just to read through and mark on. That's all there for you. I'll leave that there so you can double check your answers against it. Please feel free to send any work to your teachers, and remember to like and subscribe to stay up to date with everything geography at Castle View. Thank you, have a great day.